right? Alice Springs hitting 42 degrees while Melbourne S struggling to crack 23. That S a 19-degree difference across the country today, and it is about to get even more interesting. Is your area about to cop a major temperature swing in the next 72 hours? Because the models are showing some pretty dramatic changes coming, and I'll have specific timing for your city in just a moment. Currently, the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active for parts of Queensland and New South Wales, affecting over 3 million people. We've got extreme heat warnings for the interior, storm watches along the east coast, and a developing low-pressure system that could change everything by the weekend. In the next 12 minutes, I'll break down exactly when these changes hit, which areas cop the worst of it, and what tomorrow's model runs might reveal. But first, chuck your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be doing personalised forecasts for every city and town you mob mention. Let me give you the timing straight up. Sydney, you are looking at showers arriving Thursday afternoon around 3 p.m, heaviest overnight, clearing Friday morning. Melbourne, your southerly change hits Friday midday, dropping temps by 8 degrees in under 2 hours. Brisbane, storms building from 2 p.m. today could turn severe by 5. Perth, you've got clear skies locked in through the weekend. Adelaide, that cool change arrives Saturday morning, bringing temps down from 32 to 24. Hobart, staying mild through the week, around 22 to 23. Darwin, typical build-up conditions, afternoon storms daily. Canberra, frosty mornings continuing, warming to 25 by afternoon. Now here, what S got me watching the models closely. There is a low-pressure trough developing off the New South Wales coast, and Access and the European model are showing two completely different scenarios. Access reckons this thing intensifies into an east coast low by Friday, which would bring heavy rain from the Hunter Valley right down to the south coast. We re-talking potentially 80 to 120 millimetres in 24 hours for some coastal areas. But the European model suggests it stays weaker and further offshore, which means Sydney and Wollongong might only see 30 to 50 mils. That difference is massive, and tomorrow morning S runs should give us better clarity. For you lot up in far north Queensland, Cairns and Townsville are both sitting at 30 degrees today with humidity around 85%. That feels like temperature is pushing 37, 38 degrees. The monsoonal trough is sitting just to your north, and there's still a bit of uncertainty around whether it dips south over the weekend. If it does, you are looking at widespread heavy rain and potential flooding. If it stays put, just your typical afternoon build-up storms. Mackay and Rockhampton, you are in that transition zone, so keep watching tomorrow S update. Across the top end, Darwin S running true to form for this time of year. 32 degrees, afternoon storms rolling in like clockwork around 4 p.m. Catherine S a degree or two hotter. Alice Springs way down in the centre is where the real heat is cooking. 42 today, could nudge 44 tomorrow before a weak cool change brings it back to 38 by the weekend. That EA still extreme heat, so if you re-out in the red centre, you need to be taking this seriously. Let me jump across to Western Australia. Perth, you re in that sweet spot right now. 29 degrees, Fremantle Doctor doing its thing, bringing that beautiful sea breeze in around 1 p.m. You've got this locked in through the weekend, looking at 30 to 32 Saturday and Sunday. Bunbury and Mandurah, similar story. But once you head inland, Kalgoorlie S hitting 37 today, and the fire danger rating is sitting at severe. Total fire ban in place for the Goldfields. Geraldton and Broome up north, you are both around 34, 35 degrees with minimal chance of rain. Now, there's one detail in the southeast that S got me concerned, and I'll get to that in about 3 minutes. But first, let's talk about what is happening in South Australia. Adelaide, currently 28 degrees, and you're about to cop a pretty significant change. That cold front I mentioned earlier, the one hitting Melbourne Friday midday, reaches you Saturday morning around 8 a.m. Temps drop from a forecast high of 32 Friday down to 24 Saturday. The wind shift is going to be noticeable too, going from northerlies at 20 ks an hour to strong southwesterlies at 45 to 50 ks. Mount Gambier and the southeast, you'll feel this change first, probably Friday evening. Whyalla and Port Augusta, you get it Saturday afternoon. Victoria S shaping up for a bit of a rough trot over the next few days. Melbourne, Geelong and the Surf Coast, you're all sitting around 26, 27 today, but tomorrow's a different story. Northerlies ahead of that front push you up to 34, maybe 35 in the western suburbs. Then bang, the southerly hits midday Friday and it's back to 22 within a couple of hours. That's a southerly buster scenario. Ballarat and Bendigo, you rerunning a few degrees cooler, but the same pattern applies. Shepparton up in the northeast, you might nudge 37 tomorrow before the change arrives late Friday, right? Here, that concerning detail I mentioned. The models are showing the possibility, and I want to emphasise this is still uncertain, of a cut-off low forming over eastern Victoria and southern New South Wales this weekend. If this develops the way Access R is suggesting, we could see significant rainfall across the high country, Gippsland and the southern tablelands. I am talking potentially 150 to 200 millimetres over 3 days in some alpine areas. Now, the GFS model isn't buying this scenario, showing much lighter totals. This is exactly why you need to check back tomorrow, because overnight model runs will either confirm or dismiss this threat. Let's get back to New South Wales regional areas. Newcastle and the Hunter, you're looking at showers Thursday afternoon, 15 to 30 millimetres likely, possibly heavier if that coastal low intensifies. Coffs Harbour and the mid-north coast, similar timing, but you could see storm activity mixed in. 50 millimetre totals possible if storms fire up. Dubbo and the central west, you stay mostly dry, just isolated showers Friday. Wagga and the Riverina, you are in that zone where the southern change brings cooler temps Saturday, but minimal rain. Wollongong and the Illawarra, this is where things get interesting. Currently 27 degrees. Tomorrow pushing 30 before that low develops offshore. If it tracks closer to the coast like Access suggests, you could be in for 80 to 100 mils Thursday night into Friday. If it stays offshore like the European model shows, maybe 40 to 50. I reckon we'll have a better handle on this by tomorrow morning. Canberra, you've had some cracking cold mornings lately, down to 4 or 5 degrees. Today warming to 25, tomorrow similar. That weekend system I mentioned could bring you decent rain Saturday into Sunday. But again, there is uncertainty around totals. Could be 20 mils, could be 60. The ACT Snowy Mountains could see falls if temps drop enough Saturday night. Tasmania running its own show as usual. Hobart 22 today, Launceston similar. You've got a weak front brushing the west coast Thursday, bringing showers to Strahan and Queenstown, maybe 10 to 20 millimetres. East coast stays drier. Devonport and Burnie, you're in between, probably just cloudy periods. Weekend looking pretty good for the whole state, mid-20s, partly cloudy. Back to Queensland regional centres. Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast, you read both in the firing line for storms today. Currently 29 degrees, building humidity, and those storm cells should start popping by mid-afternoon. Could turn severe with large hail and damaging winds possible. Toowoomba on the ranges, you are a bit cooler at 26, but storms could drift your way this evening. Bundaberg and Gladstone, scattered showers and storms, nothing too organised at this stage. I want to touch on the fire situation because this is critical. We've got total fire bans declared for districts across South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales tomorrow. The combination of high temps, low humidity and strong winds creates extreme fire danger. If you're in a fire-prone area, you need to know your bushfire plan. This isn't something to muck around with. Now, if you haven't dropped your location in the comments yet, do it now. I am going through every single comment tomorrow and giving detailed forecasts for your specific area. Whether you in a capital city or a regional town, I want to help you plan your week. The bigger picture here is we seeing that typical summer pattern where the north stays hot and humid with daily storms, the interior absolutely bakes, and the south gets these frontal systems pushing through. But what makes this week interesting is the potential for that east coast low and the cut-off low scenario. These are the systems that can really deliver big rain totals and cause problems. Here, what I am watching for tomorrow, update. First, does that New South Wales coastal low intensify or weaken? Second, does the cut-off low scenario over the southeast materialise or fall apart? Third, where exactly does that cold front track across Victoria and South Australia? These three factors determine who cops what over the next 72 hours. Let me cycle through some more locations quickly. Orange in the central tablelands, 16 degrees today, showers increasing Friday. Albury-Wodonga on the border, 28 today, 34 tomorrow, change Saturday. Mildura up in the northwest, 36 today, similar tomorrow. Port Macquarie on the coast, 27 degrees, showers Thursday. Tamworth inland, 31 today, storms possible late week. Armidale on the tablelands, cooler at 24, scattered showers Friday. Western Australia regional areas. Albany down south, 23 degrees, partly cloudy. Esperance along the coast, 25, mostly sunny. Carnarvon up north, 32 degrees, clear skies. Karratha and Port Hedland in the Pilbara, you both sitting around 38, 39 degrees. Minimal relief in sight for you lot. Northern Territory inland, Tennant Creek, 39 degrees today, dry heat. Nulunbai on the northeast coast, 31 with high humidity, afternoon storms. Alice Springs, I mentioned earlier, but worth repeating, 42 today, extreme heat warning current. Please take precautions. South Australian regional centres. Port Lincoln on Eyre Peninsula, 28 degrees. That Saturday change brings showers. Mount Barker in the Adelaide Hills, 25 today. Similar pattern to Adelaide. Ceduna on the west coast, 30 degrees, staying dry. The European Model S latest run just came through, and hang on, let me check this properly. S actually shifted closer to what Access was showing for that coastal low. This is significant because yesterday they were quite different. If the next run confirms this trend, we're re-looking at higher confidence for heavier rain along the New South Wales coast Thursday into Friday. This is exactly the kind of model convergence I look for. Bit of a mixed bag across Queensland S interior. Charleville and Longreach, you are both around 37, 38 degrees, dry as a bone. Roma and Emerald, similar story. Mount Isa, way out west, 40 degrees, low humidity, extreme fire danger. Actually, I should be more specific about those storm risks for today. Brisbane and the southeast, the main concern is damaging wind gusts, potentially reaching 90 to 100 kS an hour if storms turn severe. Large hail up to 4 centimetres possible in the most intense cells. Heavy rainfall rates could cause flash flooding in urban areas. The timing window is 2 p.m. through to 8 p.m. with peak risk 4 to 6 p.m. Let me clarify something about those weekend forecasts for Victoria and New South Wales. When I say uncertain, I mean the models are still working through the details of where exactly systems track and how strong they get. But what is not uncertain is that a change is coming. Temps will drop, winds will pick up, and rain is likely across many areas. The question is how much and exactly where. For you lot in coastal New South Wales, from Sydney down to Eden, keep watching tide times if that low develops. We could see higher than normal tides coinciding with onshore winds, which increases coastal erosion and inundation risks. Not a major issue at this stage, but worth monitoring. Fair dinkum. The temperature range across Australia right now is something else. We've got Hobart at 22, Alice Springs at 42, and everything in between. This is why Australia is such a fascinating place weather-wise. You can experience 4 different climate zones in one day if you are flying across the country. There is still quite a bit to unfold over the next few days, and tomorrow's update is going to be crucial. We'll have fresh model data, updated bomb warnings, and I'll be tracking how these systems evolve. If that coastal low intensifies, if the cut-off low forms, if the southern front brings more rain than expected, all of that becomes clearer in the next 24 hours. One thing to remember from this forecast is the potential for rapid changes. That Melbourne southerly buster Friday, 8-degree temp drop in 2 hours. The Brisbane storms this afternoon going from sunny to severe in minutes. The Adelaide front Saturday morning, wind shift from north to southwest in an hour. These aren't gradual changes, they resharp transitions, so you need to be ready. I genuinely want to hear from you in the comments. Whether you in Sydney or Birdsville, Broome or Burnie, drop your location below and I'll give you a detailed breakdown tomorrow. What are you planning this week? What weather impacts are you concerned about? Let me know and I'll address it specifically. Looking ahead to early next week, and this is very preliminary, it looks like we might see high pressure building across the southeast, which would bring more settled conditions. But up north, that monsoonal trough could become active again. Too early for specifics, but that is the general trend. Before I wrap up, I want to emphasise those fire danger warnings again. Tomorrow, extreme fire danger across multiple districts. If a fire starts, it will spread rapidly and be very difficult to control. Have your fire plan ready, know your trigger points, and on to take risks. So here, what S coming tomorrow. Detailed city by city forecasts based on your comments, updated model analysis on that coastal low situation, clearer picture on weekend rainfall totals, and I'll be tracking any new warnings from the Bureau. Tomorrow, S Update goes live at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, so set a reminder if you want to catch it first thing. Thanks for watching, and seriously, drop your location in the comments. The more specific you are, the better forecast I can give you tomorrow. Whether it is your suburb, your town, your region, let me know and I'll cover it. See you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. sharp with all the latest.